also to monitor the performance and the education trend in the country.
Majaliwa says some areas where President Samia has prioritized in the education sector are its infrastructure, construction of vocational colleges, loans for higher education, and training policy review.
Sekta yetu ya elimu ni wakala wa mabadiliko katika jamii, kiuchumi, kiteknolojia, pia kiutamaduni katika kuleta maendeleo ya nchi yetu.
The education sector is an agent of change in the society. It is the agent of change of the economy, technology, and the culture. Provisions of quality education is one of our priorities in the country, as it is stipulated in the 2025 development plan, which is now under reforms.
Other areas include strengthening the management of the education sector by providing means of transport to the leaders of the sector, as well as quality assurance of schools, strengthening the use of IT in the learning system, and providing training for teachers. In another step, Majaliwa directs the council leaders in the country to ensure that the funds allocated to pay the various teachers' entitlements are used not for other uses.
Kutana na walimu.
You have to meet with the teachers, and they should listen to their delights and their grievances, and they should work on them. Teachers do not have to go to higher ranking education officers when you are able to help them, while you have all the incentives to help them solve their problems.
On the other hand, the Dodoma Regional Commissioner Rosemary Senyamule says that during the 3 years of President Samia Suluhu Hassan, 92.4 billion shillings have been allocated and released for the improvement of the education infrastructure in the region. The number of government primary schools has increased from 784 to 819 schools in 2023-2024, while secondary schools have increased from 218 to 235.
The Director General of the Tanzania Civil Aviation Authority, TCAA, Hamza Johari, says it is the high time now for Tanzania entered into single African air transport market to be able to capitalize on the opportunities to do business with other countries. He made the call in Dar es Salaam during the opening of the stakeholders meeting involving countries' aviation sector, discussing how the nation can enter into an agreement and the amendment of more than 17 operational rules of the aviation activities in the country in line with international standards.
Inatokea kwamba abiria anazunguka sana.
It happens that passengers in Africa have to take a very long route within the continent. For instance, when someone has to go to Zambia, they have to first pass through South Africa, and then they have to transfer to Zambia, when in reality Zambia is just near. It takes just an hour to go there. Therefore, the aim of the common market as passed by the African Union is to make sure that passengers can travel easily from one place to another.
Johari adds that the airlines in the country are becoming progressively competitive and therefore able to compete commercially with other airlines from other African countries. The agreement on the single African air transport market was established in 2018, and until now about 35 countries have signed the agreement. The agreement is one of the contributors to improve interstate access of African countries. Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Professor James Mdoe, challenges students from various universities in the Eastern African community to come up with innovative ideas to enable the member countries to advance in the application of artificial intelligence to protect democracy, peace and stability. Here's the report by Henry Mabumo, read by Teddy Mparanyanga.
It is the 8th debate that brings together 6 university students from the 8 countries that make up the East African Community EAC, and they are here to discuss youth participation and peace building. Speaking on behalf of the Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Deputy Permanent Secretary Professor James Mdoe says the move will help the establishment of law and procedures to deal with technological challenges, especially in political elections.
Request the government of the nations in East African communities to put these issues in the laws and other electoral procedures so that when it reaches a time like this, even when an error occurs, they should be aware of what laws to be used to handle the issue.
Earlier, the Vice Chancellor of the Ardhi University, Professor Evalisto Liwa, says the debate aims to improve the participation of the youth of the EAC member countries in politics.
We sometimes forget that the youth who are involved have the answers, and because they have the answers, you should sit and discuss with them. That is why we have brought them here, to see the importance of this process. Here we have 6 students from East African countries. We need the youth to understand issues of federation, integrations.
Some of the students from various universities of the member countries of the East African community explain on how the outcome of the meeting will benefit them and the community as whole.
The success of ambassadors from East African community is that it helps the youth to participate in international conferences and summits.
It has been a good thing that has brought youth together who have self-awareness. They will report back home that EAC considers what they suggest and is implemented as well.
The Minister for Information, Communication and Information Technology, Nape Nnauye, says Tanzania and Finland cherish long and historical ties that have also contributed to the growth of the ICT sector in the country. Nape made the remarks when he met and held talks with the Finnish ambassador to Tanzania, Teresa Zitting, in her delegation, insisting the two countries continue to explore areas of cooperation to improve further the IT sector.
You can't talk of the ICT progress in Tanzania without mentioning the Finnish people and the Finnish government. They've been helping us from way back where we were developing our ICT policy, our ICT framework, that back to 2016, where we reviewed our policy. We have discussed today some other areas of cooperation on cybersecurity, on data protection, on investing on communication infrastructure.
On the other hand, the Finnish ambassador to Tanzania, Teresa Zitting, says her country is creating standard procedures to ensure all ICT projects are well financed by the government of Finland.
The financing aspect, if we think of the rural development and the infrastructure development there, and which Mr. Lopi also a little bit alluded to, that we have already been looking together with the EU on the global gateway possibilities for financing.
The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and East African Cooperation, Stephen Biabato, says Tanzania and Kenya have agreed to continue solving non-tax trade barriers by having a joint plans to harmonize charges, fees, taxes and laws aiming to promote trade between the two parties, including facilitating cross-border trade for 24 hours. Biabato made the remarks when signing of the joint declaration of the 8th meeting of the Joint Committee on Trade between Tanzania and Kenya at ministerial level held in Kisumu in Kenya. Here are more details.
Biabato says within 30 days, some non-tax barriers have been removed, including allowing the removal of the ban on importing tea to Tanzania from Kenya, the removal of the ban on importing alcohol to Kenya, the removal of the ban on exporting timber to Kenya through the Horohoro border that was banned by the Kenya Bureau of Standards. On the other hand, Kenya's Minister of Investment, Trade and Industry, Rebecca Miano, says Kenya is ready to continue to cooperate with Tanzania in removing non-tax trade barriers to promote trade and people-to-people ties. The meeting is implementation of the directives of the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, and the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, aiming to remove all barriers affecting trade so as to strengthen business relations. Furthermore, the meeting aims to address the remaining issues from the 7th business meeting between the countries held on the 9th and 12th of March 2022 in Zanzibar, and the next meeting is expected to be held in July 2024, aiming to reduce or completely remove the remaining trade barriers to promote trade.
Congo port cargo business at the port of Dar es Salaam has increased to 3.4 million metric tons compared to 1.9 million metric tons served in 2018. The revelation has been made in the city of Dar es Salaam during the inauguration of the Congo Center of Expertise, Evaluation and Certification, responsible for countries' mineral products exported to European and Asian countries through the port of Dar es Salaam. Here are more details.
Speaking during the launch of the office, which was witnessed by the ambassador of the Democratic Republic of Congo in Tanzania, Jean-Pierre Masala, the business director of the office, Marcel Kasongo Yampanya, says the opening of the office, which will be responsible for certifying exported minerals from Congo, will help minimize some of the challenges faced by the Congolese mining sector.
The aim of the Democratic Republic of Congo to open the commercial section here. So we'll be here to make the traceability of the product, the mineral product, from the Democratic Republic of Congo to the exportation, to avoid the fraud to those group rebels who are just trying to take mineral for granted, and also to promote the minerals section so that people cannot go to the wrong person, to come to the right people, which one is the embassy, to facilitate them how to do business with the Democratic Republic of Congo.
On the other hand, the president of the Association of Freight Forwarders in the country, Edward Urio, says the issuance of mineral permits ensures that mineral products transported through the port of Dar es Salaam are legal, while the director of marketing and relations of TPA, George Fasha, adds that in the first quarter of the year 2023-2024, the port has already served approximately 2.3 million tons, equivalent to an increase of 15% of all cargo from Congo, including minerals.
Great pleasure and good to have this office being launched in Dar es Salaam, which is going to ease the certification of minerals which are originating from DRC. This will as well reduce the hearsay of some smuggling of minerals from DRC which are going through Dar es Salaam port. And now we have an office where we can certify that these minerals are really originating from DRC.
So we appreciate the efforts to establish this office here today. These efforts indicate to have sustained strategic business partnerships with DRC. And in our case, we once had one office in Lubumbashi. So we appreciate the efforts, and we promise to be here to serve you at any time.
Among the minerals from Congo transported through the port of Dar es Salaam include copper, gold, cobalt, and titan.
The Minister of Education and Training in Zanzibar, Leila Mohamed Musa, calls on investors from Pakistan to invest in Tanzania and Zanzibar as part of strengthening economic ties between the two countries. Leila Mohamed Musa says that economic growth between Tanzania and Pakistan has reached Tanzanian shillings 451 billion in 2023 compared to 2017. She made the remarks during the celebrations to mark Pakistani National Day, which was held in Dar es Salaam.
With sincere appreciation of the support provided by the government of Pakistan, especially in the realm of capacity building to Tanzanians, including Zanzibar. Pakistan has been offering short and long-term courses and scholarship in various fields such as diplomacy, railway, and finance under the Technical Assistance Program for African countries, known as TAPAC.
On the other hand, the ambassador of Pakistan to Tanzania, Siraj Ahmad Khan, explained the outcome of the bilateral ties between Pakistan and Tanzania in various fields and vows to continue cooperating with Tanzania in diplomatic and economic growth.
Towards fulfilling the vision set by their founding fathers. Both sides have maintained close cooperation with each other in diplomatic, economic, defense, cultural, and educational fields. The two countries have maintained good cooperation in sharing of expertise and technical know-how to assist and complement each other. Pakistan has provided institutional capacity building training programs to Tanzanian diplomats, bankers, railways, postal, as well as armed forces officers.
Before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now have a look at today's exchange rates. According to the Bank of Tanzania, Bioti. Dear viewers, do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Stay tuned for all the latest in international news. And here is international news compiled by Ramadan Impenda and read by Teddy Mparanyanga.
Opposition leader in Senegal, Bassirou Faye, is leading the race in Senegal's presidential election. According to the media from Senegal, several of the 17 candidates have conceded to him. However, official results have not yet been announced. The ruling coalition's choice, former Prime Minister Amadou Ba, has congratulated rival opposition candidate Bassirou Faye, a good trend of presidential election results. The first set of counts announced on television showed Mr. Faye had won the majority of votes, triggering widespread street celebrations in the capital, Dakar. Mr. Faye, 44 at age, a senior official in the Pastor Party led by Osman Sonko, had been in jail until 10 days before the vote. Supporters set off fireworks, waved Senegalese flags, and blew vuvuzelas. About 7.3 million people were registered to vote in the country of around 18 million. The election had been due to take place last month, but President Macky Sall postponed it, triggering deadly opposition protests. President Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi has declared a state of disaster in most of the country's provinces over severe drought. The announcement by President Chakwera coincided with the food distribution exercise in Neno district, southern Malawi, by the World Food Programme, together with the Department of Disaster Management Affairs. He said he has declared a state of disaster in 23 of the country's 28 districts to feed over 2 million farming households that have been affected by the El Nino spell. President Chakwera also said Malawi is urgently in need of more than $200 million in humanitarian assistance. Malawi has been repeatedly hit by weather extremes in recent years, and the neighboring Zambia declared a national disaster in late February. And Russia has charged 4 men it says attacked a Moscow concert hall and killed at least 137 people. All 4 were charged with committing an act of terrorism. Russia's Federal Security Service, FSB, has said the men who appeared in court were arrested in the Bryansk region around 14 hours after the attack. The men were identified as citizens of Tajikistan, Russia's state news agency TASS said. The Islamic State Group, or IS, said it carried out Friday's outrage at Crocus City Hall and posted video evidence. 4 gunmen on Friday night stormed the Crocus City Hall in Krasnogorsk, a northern Moscow suburb, and began firing on some of the estimated 6,000 people who were attending a rock concert. The attackers were also set fire. Take 2. The attackers also set fires which engulfed the venue and caused the roof to collapse. Russian authorities said 137 people were killed and more than 100 injured.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, the National Sports Council NSC Secretary General Neema Msita urged all sports federations and associations in the country to set strategies and plans on how to seriously prepare athletes who are gearing up for the Olympic tournament this year. Msita challenges them to make sure that athletes are working hard in preparation process as well as participating in trial games as much as possible.
Kiukweli tunaitamani medali ya Olympic maana tumeshavunja mwiko kwenye Commonwealth Games.
We surely want an Olympic medal because we already broke the record in the Commonwealth Games. also in all African games. So we have no reason to fail in the coming Olympic Games.
Kwa lengo letu sisi tutaendelea kushirikiana na kamati ya Olympic na vyama vyetu kuhakikisha na sisi this time angalau tunapanda kwenye podium tuimbie wimbo wetu wa taifa turudi na gold medal kutoka kwenye mashindano ya Olimpiki.
Msita has also congratulated the national boxing team players for bringing 3 bronze medals from the All-African Games recently. Ngome handball team head coach Shazil Issa says they have set special strategies on how to defend its title in the coming handball national tournament that will take place in Tanga next month. Coach Issa believes that they have started training early to be fit against their opponents, hoping that they will give them an extra edge during the tournament.
Mimi na uhakika na timu yangu kwa sababu mazoezi ninayofanya ni mazoezi ya uhakika.
I believe my team due to tough training we are doing in the camp. So I'm sure we will defend our championship.
Wana morale wa juu na wanajua majukumu yao na kutetea ubingwa sio kazi rahisi.
Kufanya mazoezi kwenye jua kali
Doing training out when the sun is shining, it's advantageous for us because we become better than before and we prepare for the tournament well.
Tukutana hali kama hii hapa tunaona ni kawaida kwa sababu tushazoea kwenye mazoezi yetu.
Kuwa bingwa imaanisha kwamba utakuwa bingwa muda wote.
It's not easy to defend the championship, but through tough training everything gonna be okay. That's why we believe we can win again the trophy.
Timu yetu tutachukua tena.
Seven teams from various regions in the country have confirmed to participate in the tournament. That is sports news, and now before we conclude the news bulletin, let's take a look at our weather update.
Once again, this is 24 hours weather focus from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Strength of rainfall signal are over the coastal areas, while TMA issue an advisory of expecting heavy precipitation at times over area of Lindi and Mtwara. Please take note on that. For tonight, we expect future cloud condition, thunder shower over some areas over southern coast, while central part expect future rain shower over area, and the rest part of our country expect future particular condition, thunder shower over area. For tomorrow, we expect future cloud condition, thunder shower over area and sun interval over southern coast, southern part of Morogoro region, Njombe together with Ruvuma region, while the rest part of our country expect future particular condition, thunder shower over area and sun periods. Let's have a look for the 4 days weather forecast for some part of our country, starting from the day after tomorrow. Dear viewer, we thank you for watching us and have a good night.
That marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Do not miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. I'm Agnes Tuniga. Thank you very much for being with us. Good night.
ikiwa tayari imeshafika miaka mitatu tangu serikali ya awamu ya 6 iingie madarakani katika mkoa wa Kigoma. Kuna mambo mengi mafanikio yaliyokwisha fanyika. Hapa ni makao makuu ya halmashauri ya Kasulu mji, na haya pia ni sehemu ya mafanikio ya serikali ya awamu ya 6. Ukiangalia mwanzoni, halmashauri ya Kasulu mji walikuwa wanaishi katika jengo moja na halmashauri ya Kasulu vijijini katika majengo ya zamani, lakini serikali kwa kuona umuhimu sasa wa halmashauri hii kuwa na makao makuu mapya, wakajenga jengo hili ambalo sasa lipo katika viwango vya kimataifa vyenye ubora wa hali ya juu. Mafanikio haya unayoyaona sio tu yanaishia hapa, bali pia hata katika miradi mingine ya maendeleo mambo yapo.